Time for us to head to the Wimmera Football Report. We've heard a bit from the SMG a bit earlier on from Sammy White. Now we find out just across the league as finals action comes from the Warwick Herald pages is Scotty Stewart. And how are you, Scotty?
Hey, good, thanks, Wayne.
Well, the first thing I should say is well done to the Warwick Eagles netball girls, because I think they won their first game of the season on the weekend.
Yeah, they did. They got their first winning points. They had a draw throughout the year, and they had their first win last weekend. So, they were pretty wrapped with that to finish off the season with, I think it was about a 4-goal win in the end. So they were pretty happy.
Tell you what, your footballers put up a good performance against fourth place Minyip Murtoa after the week before absolute celebrations. They might have went on a little too long because the Warwick Eagles kicked 3 goals 4, but they did hold Minyip Murtoa to 4 goals 9. Now, no one kicked a goal after half-time. I got a feeling that Minyip Murtoa were looking for bruise-free football, but I'm also looking at the score sheets from earlier in the day. This was the lowest kicked score of goals for the whole day of 4 grades of footy. Scotty, what's going on?
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird contest in the end there, Wayne. It was tight footy in the first half. You see their scores level at quarter time and only a point of difference at half time. But lost the goal kicking boot after half time, both sides. The Eagles had only put that 1 point on the board, and Minyip Murtoa with the 1-5 for the second half. So it was a bit of a battle, bit of the old-fashioned, I suppose, just a good old scrappy affair. But the ball was shooting up and down through the ground, no worries, but it couldn't get through the big sticks at the end of the ground. But it was a bit of a weird setup. The match there last weekend, but bit of a pretty tight contest, and whether who knows what was going through both teams' minds, but just one where they just couldn't get the score on the board. But the Boroughs come away with the 11-point win, only 4 goal kickers for the day. It was a bit of a weird setup.
Jai Walter 3 for Minyip Murtoa, and Josh McKinnon, he booted 3 for you. He actually finished off the season well. He kicked 31 over the season, and just every game except for a couple, one against Ararat and then another one against Ararat. The 2 times you played them, he didn't score, but every other game he goaled. So I think that's a good sign for you if you can hang on to him. And obviously, you've had a good end of the season. I think an actually credible end for the Warwick Eagles.
Yeah, no, definitely. And he finished with, as you said, sort of 3 goals in the last 5 games. And I think maybe that one of those Ararat games you mentioned there, he might have been, he was away a little bit through the season, so he might have missed those ones anyway. So, but no, Big Joe, he's finished off the season really well, and hopefully they can retain him for next year. And he's only a young fellow, he's only in his mid-20s, but he's really showed it. Him and his mate Tommy James there, that have come with him, that have come together, I should say. They're good assets to the club, and hopefully, stick around for next year.
Yeah, certainly need them, and to rebuild and get off the bottom of the ladder. Dimmy went down to Ararat in a regulation consolation, 18-19 to 6-7. Probably not the preparation that they would have wanted heading into this week.
Nah, looking at 4-game losing streak just turned into a 5, and they're probably looking for the finish line of the end of the home and away season, and you never know, they might regroup, be a different team for finals. But last weekend the Ararat boys, they just went on their merry way, completed the undefeated season, minor premiership, and sit out a bye this weekend, and watch on as the rest of the field battles away in that first week. But they're pretty impressive. The Ararat boys there, isn't it, with taking Dimboola out by, well over 12, 13 goals. So just really underlined the premiership favouritism for the Ratters.
Yeah, they certainly have. The Saints were too good at 16-6 for Nil, 10-13. Nil, credible finish to the season. They'd be happy with that. Luke Darlenberg was in good form. 3 to Xavier Bone. I think they'll take something out of that. They had more scoring shots than the Saints. The Saints are, at the moment, second in the comp. I reckon Nil, if they can hold their group together, they will be an improver next year.
Most definitely, yeah. You could tell that, last couple of years when you play them, all their local kids, but they're just playing together as a team, and that's always going to be competitive, isn't it, when you've got a group of 21 kids just all playing for the same cause, and that's just basically what they've been doing for this year, I reckon, and just showing great improvement. They've come up short against the Saints there, but very competitive, and will be into the future, I'd imagine, there.
I think they're going to be, and the Southern Mallee, without Coleman Shack, were demolished the D's in a big performance to get some form heading into finals for them, with Tyler Lehman booting 4, Ben McGee 4, and a scoreline of 21-20 to 4-7. I think they needed that, the Giants.
That was a big win, wasn't it? I didn't really expect. I thought they'd get over the line up on their home track up there, but look at the score, 41 scoring shots to 11, and they've completely dominated that contest. And I mean, we saw them the week before. They had arrested a few and didn't have their greatest game, but certainly made up for last weekend, and the Pride Horsham boys were forced to pay for that one.
And had a end of season for them that they'll probably be pretty happy that it's come to an end. Across the grades, I noticed too, into the reserves, and a quick look at that with the ladder there, and it was great for the Stall side to get their 2s in. Neil, of course, was the best of the rest in the reserve grade. A good effort there. And then in the 17s, it was a good competition here this year, with Nil making it into finals in the 17. Dimby and the Stall Warriors just missed out. Warwick Eagles also not far away. So a real contest for that 5th place in the 17s.
Yeah, it was exactly right. The 5th down to 8th, the 6 wins, and the last 3 teams all had 5 wins. So it's pretty competitive between the bottom 4 compared to the top 4 there. And they'll have a pretty good final series with, I'm thinking the Horsham boys are going to be pretty hard to toss, though, in the junior competitions this year.
We're going to talk about that right now, because we head to finals football, and it's a Saturday. The Saints take on the Southern Mallee Giants at Murtoa, and I think the Southern Mallee, a bit of the Ducks and Drakes, Kieran Delahunty likes to keep the cards close to the chest, but I've got a feeling that they're going to come out and beat the Saints.
Yeah, well, they're putting all their eggs into their basket, aren't they? So pretty much a full-strength side, except for a couple of boys that are still away at the moment. So it'll be interesting this time, won't it? Because you've thrown your whole, your best lineup that you can have. It's a lineup they haven't had for a number of weeks. It could have been up to, or someone like Kieran has been out for 6, 7, 8 weeks, I should say. So it'll be interesting. Now, luckily, he got the run under the belt last weekend. But you probably mentioned it. They got a fair few key inclusions. Coleman being one of them. And you look at their lineup, and it's a pretty good one. And coming off last week's demolition of the Demons, they're going to hit this game pretty hard right from the start. But just a great opening to the final series in the senior footy. This one with these 2 sides, and we've spoken about it earlier with that round 4 you go back and the Giants have thumped the Saints up at Hopetoun, and then corresponding round in 13 the Saints have a bit of a payback on that day at Coghlan Park. So they're going to hit this ground basically as an even contest, and they've fulfilled positions 2 and 3 all year, and they deserve to be playing off for in the qualifying final. And be a great battle, this one. The forwards there, we've spoken about Minyip Murtoa and Joe Garth for the Horsham Saints. If they can contain those 2 boys to minimum scores, well, they'll go a long way. But then a tip for the day, Wayne, I'm thinking, I might just agree with you that Giants might just get home. It'll be a great contest.
Minyip Murtoa will need to kick a few more goals if they're to win this elimination final at Alexander Oval than they kicked last week against you blokes. They get Dimmy. And I'll tell you what, I think they can beat Dimboola. Dimboola's form's been ordinary, but this is one of those danger games where Dimboola could switch the light bulb on and suddenly they could be a very credible side come finals day on Sunday.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, you sort of wait for it to happen, and just over the last 5 weeks, it just hasn't happened. And but as I said before, this is going into a final series, so it's a new ball game, and all the teams are full strength. I see with the Dimmy boys, they've welcomed back a couple of their travellers, and Dylan Lanton Tom Cree, and Minyip Murtoa's done the same with Lockie Delahunty back into the lineup. So they're all going in at pretty much full strength, and they'll give themselves the best chance. But I do agree with you with that. With the Boroughs, they're going to start a favourite. You got to say that on current form with Dimboola on that 5-game losing streak, and the Boroughs weren't that flash last week, but they new day and finals. It'll be a great contest. This one will be really interesting down at Alexander over there in Ararat. So the big wide expanses down there should be a good matchup, I think. But I think we'll be leaning towards the Boroughs on current form.
And down into the Sunday match of the 14s, your boys are actually playing in this game. And I noted that in round 12, the Warwick Eagles beat Ararat 8-9 to 2-3. So I'm just guessing here that your lads should start favourites for the big finals elimination game for them.
Yeah, exactly right. They have done it twice this year. They've knocked over the Ararat boys on both occasions, and they later positions would suggest they would start favourites. But down there on their home ground, I suppose, for the Ararat lads. But the kids will be loving it. This will be playing in a final in front of a bit more of a crowd with more teams competing in it, and the coaches of the young kids had them fired up throughout the week on the training track, and they'll be looking good, and they'll be really looking forward to this contest, and hopefully they can play another couple of finals, and just it's like a great experience for the kids to be playing in the bigger games, and this will be definitely one of them.
It's a big weekend. Finals get started in Wimmera Football, and it's going to be great to have Scotty Stewart from the Warwick Herald to call it for us, and we'll catch up with you next week.
Yeah, no worries. Good on you, mate.